Can a libertarian be a Republican? Yeah, let's talk about that.
Instead of focusing on winning arguments, we're teaching the basic fundamentals of sales and marketing and how we can use them to win in the world of politics, teaching you how to meet people where they're at on the issues they care about. Welcome to the Brian Nichols Show.
Wow, happy Wednesday there, folks. Brian Nichols here on the Brian Nichols Show, and thank you for joining me on, of course, another fun-filled episode. I am, as always, your humble host, joining you live from our Stratus IP studios here in lovely Eastern Indiana. Don't let cyber attacks or outdated business technology put your company at risk. Learn more at briannicholsshow.com. So let's dig into today's question. Yes, can a libertarian, in fact, be a Republican? And we're talking about you small L libertarians out there, because yes, there is a difference between the small L libertarians and the big L libertarians. How about this? Let's start there, defining what those two differences are. So small L libertarian is someone who believes in the philosophy, the principles of libertarianism, whereas the big L libertarians are part of the larger political entity that is the Libertarian Party. So more of the politicized, actual activist wing of the libertarian, small L libertarian movement. But there are those in the world who call themselves small L libertarians, but also hold a big R next to their name, being Republicans. So what is the difference when you're talking about a libertarian, and let's use a small L here, and a Republican? So a libertarian tends to, by and large, believe in the ideas of limited government and free markets. We believe in the ideas of property rights and non-aggression, namely, don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. Whereas if you are a Republican, that tends to be someone who obviously is a part of the Republican Party and believes more in social conservative ideas like limited government, individual freedom to an extent, but also with that conservative values, social issues being on top of that, and then a more aggressive foreign policy. But with that understood of the basics here, let's explore why a libertarian would want to even consider being a Republican. As you hear it, maybe there's a little bit of similarity, but is there enough to actually justify jumping all the way to being a full-fledged GOPer? Well, being a part of the Republican Party gives you a voice, and it gives you a platform to promote your libertarian ideas, even though sometimes you may feel that you're compromising your beliefs in order to play politics. But is it worth it when you consider that the GOP has been really the only party successful at advocating a lot of the policies we believe in: individual freedom, limited government, tax cuts, deregulation, judicial appointments, and so forth? I mean, if that's our goal, to enact liberty in our lifetime, doesn't it make sense to at least consider some options for the GOP? And let's actually look, can a libertarian actually serve as a Republican? Well, I say yes, as long as that Republican libertarian can stay true to their libertarian principles, then absolutely. And I look to folks like a Thomas Massie, like a Rand Paul, and yes, when he was in office, like a Justin Amash. There is many opportunities that we can look to. And yes, I'm sorry, I forgot the most important one, the OG, Ron Paul, of course, as a Republican, but did so as a libertarian. Now, some libertarians will argue that the GOP recently has really strayed from those core libertarian principles that were at the heart of the Tea Party wave, and they recently have become more focused on those social issues like social conservatism, nationalism, which at its very core goes against the very basic principles of libertarianism. But others in the libertarian camp, again, small L libertarian camp, argue that Republicans are in fact a great chance for us to help bring a libertarian message to the masses, despite not sharing maybe the main issues right now, but some core beliefs. Individual freedom, can we at least still find some of the importance there? Or at least on the most important issue over the past 3 years, the COVID issue, understanding who was in the positions of power trying to disseminate misinformation using government resources to do that and government channels to do that, propaganda in the most egregious forms. So where do I stand on this issue? Well, much like any other issue we talk about here on the Brian Nichols Show, I think it is a very delicate issue here. And I think it's actually a case-by-case basis, because I think there's actually a role for both being Republican as a libertarian and being a libertarian as a libertarian. But specifically, it depends on where that race will be. If you're going to be running as a big L libertarian in a district where the Republican is Thomas Massie, I don't think that's really a good use of time, energy, and effort. But if you're going to be a Republican where the foil is Lindsey Graham, please, you have my blessing. Go for it. By all means, kick his ass. So with that being said, I think the answer is pretty much up in the air. It depends truly on the various races that you're running in, but also when you're running, what are the main issues that your voters care about? I know it sounds cliche. We keep on going back to meet people where they're at on the issues they care about. But at the end of the day, that's what matters. That's what sells, and that's what wins. So if you, in fact, believe that a libertarian can be a Republican, well, please go ahead and let us know down below in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. And please go ahead, share today's episode. When you do, tag yours truly at B Nichols Liberty. Now, we're talking a lot today about winning elections, which is a perfect segue to our brand new ebook we have. It is How to Win Your Local Election, and is a brand new ebook you can find over at briannicholsshow.com. All you got to do is sign up. Give me your first name and email address, and boom, email you'll be received with your in your inbox, rather, that is, with the ebook. It's a PDF download, 17 pages, very quick but very actionable. So make sure you go ahead, get your copy today. It is free. And by the way, if you are interested in joining our candidate school, class is in session here. We had a great January kick things off. We had our roundtable last month. We actually highlighted Clay Morgan, who's running for mayor out here in Indiana. A great conversation there about what he's learning in the candidate school. So if you want to go ahead and be part of that candidate school, learn the best and the brightest the tips, the secrets, anything you can possibly think of in the world of running for local elections, it can be found over at our candidate school, and it's only $9.95 a month. So that link will be in the show notes. Otherwise, thank you for joining us. By the way, if you have not had the chance yet, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, Rumble, or over on Odyssey, wherever it is you get your video version of the show, and also hit that little notification bell so you don't miss a single time we go live. And if you are one of the 99% of the other folks who are joining us on the podcast version of the show, well, yes, we do have a video version of the program. You can find that if you click your artwork in your podcast catcher. It will bring you to today's episode, where you can find today's episode. You can find the entire transcript of today's episode, plus you can find the video version of the show. So please go ahead and check that out. And by the way, I'll make sure I include a link right here for yesterday's episode, where we sat down with Matt Allen, where we talked about how you can save money from your healthcare costs, because, yeah, you're probably spending way too much and you don't need to. So we're going to include the episode right here. Go ahead, give it a click, and we'll join you over there. Otherwise, that being said, Brian Nichols signing off here on The Brian Nichols Show. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to The Brian Nichols Show. Find more episodes at briannicholsshow.com.